The 21st of May. You know what I was missing? I was laying in bed last night and I was missing Sea Point Studio.
Oh, did you get that shade? Did you get the shade?
What did they say?
Nice to have you here.
Wow!
I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh yes, it is your Feel Good Breakfast Show live right here at SABC 3. Thursday, the 21st of May. Good morning, welcome to it. Thank you so much for waking up on the right side of lockdown. Waking on the right side of lockdown. My name is Tabiso Mokubela.
Oh, my name is Graham Richards. Welcome to it. Thursday, the 21st is my birthday tomorrow. Do you know that?
Oh, I knew that.
Another birthday weekend. My entire family has celebrated birthdays in lockdown, so we can relate if you are celebrating your birthday. Hopefully we can help you be a little bit more creative and get into it. But Friday is just around the corner, so we'll try and introduce some of those weekend feels. It's kind of a Friday Eve today, and we've got a fantastic show. We're going to kick you off on just the perfect note. A little bit later, I'm going to be chatting to American executive producer Kendry Otuk, who seems like the coolest dude ever, and they're making a film about the legendary former South African world champion boxer Gerrie Coetzee, who was also kind of a passive activist during the apartheid region, did some pretty cool things to stand in the face of a very difficult time. So it's going to be a cool movie. Cannot wait for that. And also a little bit of fitness.
Yeah, we got some fitness from Ryle this morning. Of course, then you need to join us for breakfast as we make some French toast made with Super M. We really are taking it to a whole new level altogether. But your birthday, this is such an interesting time to celebrate a birthday for anyone. I think the way in which you celebrate completely changes. And I wonder if we can ever go back to the normal ways of throwing braais and parties after this.
I'll braai alone, man. I'll braai alone. Ladies, what do you suggest?
I suggest that they send an SMS or a WhatsApp to 0716065551 now already with a video singing you happy birthday.
It's plannerism.
Plannerism. I don't know.
I love
these
them.
boys. Sometimes I wonder, but I love them. Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Kamalam Gukusha Adams.
My name is Jamie Lee Domag, reporting live for duty this morning. Do you know what I was thinking, actually?
What?
How would you actually feel about Tabiso, Ryle, and Graham doing housework? Like, do you picture them? Do you picture them with like a broom in their hand? Like,
To be honest with you, I do picture them doing it. I picture every single man with the broom and everything, cleaning their own houses.
Hey!
Okay.
Okay. Kutla's coming in for all the men this morning, but that is actually what our social media post is all about this morning. Actually, we got some inspiration from Sia Khaleesi because he's inspired, the cleaning the house challenge. So, listen, men, how have you been helping with housework during lockdown? Share your pics, share your videos. Let Sia Khaleesi be your inspiration out here this morning. I don't know why, whenever I say Sia Khaleesi, I always think of you and G because I know you guys have such a close relationship. Like,
with who?
You and Sia Khaleesi because you guys are from the same PE, same.
Okay, cool. We both from PE, but I've never met the guy, but I love him though. Let us know on our social media platforms using the hashtag Expresso. So right now, though, it's time to get on with the order of the day. But we're going to start off with those important news headlines with G.
Thank you so much, ladies. Let's start with our national news, and unfortunately not on the best note this morning. South Africa has recorded its first neonatal mortality related to COVID-19. As confirmed, cases increased now to 18,000 with 27 more deaths, bringing the total to 339. Among those who died are a 2-day-old baby and a healthcare worker. Now, meanwhile, President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday met with leaders of political parties to discuss matters related to the national lockdown. The meeting followed one with church organizations on Tuesday and forms a part of consultations moving towards the move to level 3 of the lockdown in some areas at the end of the month. Then there's been a mixed reaction to government's decision to reopen schools on the 1st of June. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga announced that all grade 7 and 12 learners will be allowed back into class, not forced, but allowed back into class next month. She said they will follow all safety protocols before learners report to school. However, some political parties have cautiously welcomed the move, while others outrightly rejected it as irresponsible. Some parents and teachers unions have also raised concerns about reopening schools too quickly. Some schools are overcrowded without proper sanitation or running water. On the international front, 2 studies in monkeys published yesterday offer some of the first scientific evidence that surviving COVID-19 may result in immunity from reinfection. Researcher at Harvard University, Dr. Dan Baruch, says this is a positive sign that vaccines under development may actually succeed. He said they infected 9 monkeys with COVID-19. After they had recovered, the team exposed them to the virus again, and the animals did not get sick. Although these studies do not prove that humans will develop immunity or how long it might last, they are reassuring at the very least, Baruch says. Then bringing it a little closer to home, Lesotho's former finance minister, Moketsi Majoro, was sworn in as prime minister yesterday, a day after the resignation of Thomas Tabane, who quit after being accused of conspiring to murder his wife. The country was plunged into political crisis after the June 2017 killing, and pressure had built relentlessly for the 8-year-old Tabane to step down. Well, on Tuesday, he confirmed his resignation, clearing the way for the 58-year-old Majoro, a seasoned economist, to take over the reins. And now, how flowers brought immense joy to a Paarl care home. Everyday heroes in South Africa are doing exceptional and surprising things to help others during the coronavirus pandemic. Over the past few weeks, we've seen a few examples. Well, the pandemic has also led to a lot of weddings being postponed, and as a result, many flowers have been left to wilt. So a while ago, a team of designers and florists decided to brighten up spirits in Paarl, situated in the heart of South Africa's wine region, by flower bombing the Huis Vergenoegd old age home with 600 flowers donated from Adine's Farm Flowers. They transformed the outside of the home into a fairyland of colour, and residents at the care home, who have been in lockdown since mid-March, were then allowed to go out onto the pavement to enjoy the flowers and smell the roses, so to speak. And the flower farm said on its Facebook page that the flowers brought so much joy not only to the residents of the home, but also to passers-by and motorists who are hooting to show their appreciation. Then taking a quick look into the world of entertainment, those who got a kick out of the empowering feminist story behind the 2001 hit film Legally Blonde will be excited to hear that a 3rd installment about the adventures of lawyer Elle Woods, portrayed by, of course, Hollywood powerhouse Reese Witherspoon, is in the works. The original film is based on a novel by Amanda Brown, and 19 years on is now considered a cult classic. It's been announced that actress and writer Mindy Kaling, star of The Mindy Project, as well as comedy writer Dan Goor, the brain behind hit sitcoms like Parks and Recreation and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, will be teaming up to give a fresh take on the screenplay. This installment will follow the 2003 sequel and the 2009 spin-off, but will most likely feature a plot focusing on female empowerment. And we know that Reese Witherspoon is passionate about foregrounding female filmmakers and narratives, so we cannot wait to see what magic comes out of this film. And that's where we leave our headlines for now. Let's take our first look at the weather.
Molweni nonke emakhaya. It's time for us to have the first look at the weather this morning. But first, those beautiful sunrise pictures that you've sent. Nesaji Naidu sent through the stunning sunrise picture showing off the golden sun rising in a fiery sky taken from a home in Pietermaritzburg. Pietermaritzburg can expect plenty of sunshine today, reaching a maximum temperature of 26 degrees. Jaden Marman wishes us a happy Thursday with this breathtaking sunrise picture that really blew us away, actually, with its electric colors taken in Hopefield on the west coast. Hopefield can expect sunshine through high clouds, reaching a high of 24 degrees. Thank you to both of you, Nesaji and Jaden, for sending in your sunrise pictures. We hope that you have a fantastic Klein Vrydag. Now, the South African Weather Service has said it will be a warm and pleasant day across the country this morning. Starting off at Polokwane, it's a partly sunny day for Polokwane at a high of 21 and a low of 6 degrees. Bombela 924, a light northeasterly breeze of 7 kilometers an hour for Pretoria at a low of 8 degrees, reaching a high of 22. Johannesburg 620, plenty of sunshine for Mahikeng at a high of 23 and a low of 5 degrees. Mostly sunny for Klerksdorp at a low of 5, reaching a high of 23. Kimberley, your temperatures range from 7, reaching a high of 24. The coolest start to the day for Bloemfontein at a minimum temperature of 2 degrees, reaching a maximum of 22. Richards Bay 1627, Pietermaritzburg a high of 26 and a low of 11 today. today and abundant sunshine, but a breezy afternoon can be expected for Durban at a low of 16, reaching a high of 25. A light northerly breeze of 6 kilometers an hour for Mthatha at a minimum of 6, reaching a maximum of 28. Sunny and warm for East London, 16:30, Cradock 6:27, a moderate northerly breeze of 20 kilometers an hour for Port Elizabeth at a low of 4 degrees, reaching a high of 32. A breezy morning for George, 13 as your low, reaching a high of 30 today. Sutherland 4:21, mostly cloudy with afternoon showers for Cape Town at a minimum temperature of 11, reaching a high of 20. Times of clouds and sun for Worcester, 10:26, and Uppington at a sunny day with a low of 11 degrees, reaching a high of 28. Now, being on lockdown does not mean we can't see this beautiful country we live in, so please send through those pictures and videos of your hometown and we could show it live on the show. Do make sure to include a picture of yourself and why you love your town so much. As we kickstart this morning, let's do it the right way with some words of inspiration.
Pharmadynamics, effective, affordable healthcare.
Well, it is time indeed to get some inspiration to get us going on this beautiful Thursday morning here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. That's what we like to do as we get into a brand new day. Now, Africa Month is here, and whilst we're in the midst of Africa Month, we're sharing words of inspiration from children of the continent who are really just flying our values high on the world stage. And this morning, we're taking a look at Jomo Kenyatta, who was a Kenyan anti-colonial activist and politician. He took over during the fight when Kenya moved from being a colony of the British Empire to being an independent state. And of course, he worked as Prime Minister from 1963 to 1964. And then he went on to become the country's first independent president from 1964 till his death in 1978. Widely regarded as a stabilizing force for the country, he really had lots to say. And this is one of his wisest things that he said.
So he says, our children may learn about the heroes of our past, but our task is to make ourselves architects of the future. I just absolutely love their tubs, especially currently during this pandemic. We have this opportunity where the future is relatively not as known as it would have been. So here lies the opportunity where we can create that best formula to use the lessons we've learned from those who have walked before us. And I think it's quite important to make sure that that is the case indeed.
There certainly have been many challenges, and challenges aren't new to our generation now, but it's about looking into the future with optimism, a great sense of optimism, and looking at what we can do to make the future a better place for ourselves, for our children, and for future generations indeed. That's inspiring
to our future.
Thanks so much. Wow, thank you, Jomo Kenyatta. Cheers.
This Saturday at 8 p.m. on Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao. The remaining 3 teams enter the Tropical Long Life ceremony for one last time.
Points don't matter now.
There's an epic elimination challenge. Get that nose behind the line! Who will finish first? The road to fame and fortune continues on Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao. That's Saturday at 8 p.m. only on SABC3. The stage is yours. Own it.
you. Hopefully it's your special day today. Happy birthday. If it is, it's that time of the show where we wish our loyal viewers the most special birthday ever. And if it's your birthday today, you share it with a fantastic company this morning. What a legend. Christopher Wallace, a.k.a. Biggie Smalls. He would have been 48 years old today. He was taken too soon and far too young. He was only 24 years old when he lost his life in a drive-by shooting. So many years obviously have passed, but his music is still loved by many. The late Notorious B.I.G.'s music was often semi-autobiographical, and he had an effortless flow about him. He was a massive, massive talent that really was left a gaping hole in the industry. One of the greatest rappers of all time. And we continue to pay homage to him and hope that he is resting in peace and that his many, many fans out there are going to play a little extra B Smalls
What's your
today.
favourite Biggie song?
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of him.
You weren't a big fan of him? Oh, you paid so much homage to him. I thought you were.
He was a fantastic exponent of what he did, man.
Okay, so you're not going to rap for us this morning?
I'm not going to rap for you.
Okay, that's fine, okay. But listen, we have an awesome video that came through to Layla Wallace, sent by Benjamin and Daniel. Maybe they're going to rap. Let's take a look.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Layla. Happy birthday to you.
I love that you got into high notes. Oh, well done, boy. Well done.
So sweet. But another one comes through for Fefakazi, wishing with every birthday, I hope you open your eyes to see not what has been, but also what has yet to come. Happy birthday to you, beautiful. For you, Fefakazi, on this gorgeous day, the 21st of May.
And then Chanel, I'd like to wish my niece Chanel a very happy birthday. May God continue to bless and guide you as you enter your new season in your life. That's coming to you from Nadine Pillay. And then this one going out to Asma. Happy 8th birthday to our darling daughter, Asma Abrahams, wishing you a future as bright as your smile and all that is good on your special day. Enjoy your lockdown birthday. Love from your mommy, your dad, your ma, and the rest of the family.
So cute. Another one coming through for Benito. Happy birthday to my grandson, Benito Williams. We love you a lot, from your great-grandma Rosie and Mama, Daddy, Uncle Ronaldo, Aubrey and Gabriel. Everybody, they love you so much.
Us as well.
We always love you. And then Luriksha, happy birthday to Luriksha Dulal. More blessings to you from Uncle Raj, Grandma and Rohan, sending you all the love on this special day.
Oh, and let's squeeze in one more. Then we'd like to wish, I would like to wish my son Zach a happy 9th lockdown birthday. May you be blessed more and have a fabulous day. And that's coming from Pushia Hector. Happy birthday. I know it's tough. I've now had both Lindsay and Jack's birthdays during lockdown. Mine will be during lockdown, but you can find ways to make it creative and lovely. So please, if you've got a birthday coming up and you'd like to send a loved one a very special birthday message, how about switch things up a little bit? Send us a short clip of you singing. We saw a great example of that this morning. Maybe your favorite song. Wish that beautiful person in your life a happy birthday, and you can send your videos to 071 640 6551, or just drop us an email, birthdays@cordova.tv. You can see where my mind is at.
I was just going to say, no,
or just send me a meal. Okay, well, maybe I can actually ask for that right now, because we are going to be whipping up, which I'm trying to wrap my head around. We're going to be using Super M to be creating French toast. So I would like a meal, please. I'd like to order one.
All of Zanzi. It's going to be a hot day in the big city. Super M, anytime gap filler. Made with love by Clover.
Oh, that's right. So firstly, happy birthday to everybody who's celebrating your birthday. And we've got something so much more special to start your day off. And if you're about to have breakfast, then why not grab yourself a Super M gap filler recipe that we've got for you. And the Super M French toast is it's so perfect for those moments, you know, kind of just in between, or maybe even brunch. So as you take time out to make it a special occasion, or as we mentioned, celebrating your birthday, why not use your favorite Super M meal? And we are in the kitchen with Nicole, and she's going to take us through something special. Ooh, this is smelling devilish, looking incredible. Where do we begin, Nicole?
Well, we're going to start getting your pre-workout breakfast going.
Yeah.
So I am such a fan of French toast because it's so easy and you can make a lot and make it go far, you know, and it's also something that the kids love. I mean, I used to love French toast as a kid with peanut butter and cinnamon.
Oh.
and banana. So this was like, when I saw this recipe, I was like, yes, I get to make something nostalgic.
Back to your childhood as well. What was the time that you actually had French toast? Was it always a breakfast thing for you?
Yes, it was always a breakfast thing, and I remember my friends at school always used to have French toast with tomato sauce, and then I was like, oh.
Look, I must admit I have done that. It was actually a little tradition at home. We would never have time to make anything special in the morning during the week, so on the weekend it would always kind of be like that binge breakfast and just go ham or crazy. So I'd always have French toast, but I never went crazy with the toppings and the honey and the elaborate stuff. So I think I was a little bit deprived of my French toast.
Oh, well, it's never too late.
Yeah,
you know?
well, now we can redo that, I guess.
Exactly.
So what are you up to now?
So, Raul, I've just added 3 eggs into my bowl, and I've poured half a cup of the Super M vanilla.
Okay.
I remember Super M vanilla used to be milk, and I used to love it, love it, love it, love it. So when they brought out the Super M vanilla, I was like, yes, it's back. And I'm so happy because I used to drink it out of a straw after school. It was very naughty.
You know, it's so weird. I find so many uses out of something like this, especially Super M, where I mix a lot of like protein shakes and I make smoothies. And just to get that like little chocolate feel and just to give that little gourmet touch, Super M is such a perfect additive, and it's got all the nutritional value in it as well. So it's not like it's a bad thing. It's kind of like guilt-free pleasure in a way.
Yeah, and it's
perfect
like
for me.
A beautiful flavor. And like, I mean, imagine making pancakes or flapjacks with Super M as well. I mean, you've got the vanilla, you've got a little bit of the sugar, you've got your milk element. It's 3 in 1, basically.
It doesn't sound like a flapjack. It sounds like a cake.
Cool, so I've got some...
morning cake.
A morning cake. I've got some butter in here, and I'm using some bread. I would recommend using like 2 or 3 day old bread for this. It makes it just go a little bit further.
Okay.
And then you're gonna just dunk it in. As you can see, I've just rotated it about 3 or 4 times. Some people, you can leave it in here, like some people like a really soggy.
Soak it up and soggy.
Yeah, I still like mine fairly crispy on the inside.
Okay, there we can agree for once at least. I do like the crisp, which helps when you do have the tomato sauce, but probably even better when you've got these delicious fruits and obviously the Super M on top of it.
Cool. So we're just popping this in a preheated pan with some butter, of course, because butter is always better.
Butter.
So we're gonna just crank up the heat. You want it to go nice and golden brown. Essentially, you just want your eggs to cook. And then we're gonna flip it over. You can see I've got a lot of butter in here. Ooh, nice and golden.
You got it. Nailed it. That's breakfast right there.
Breakfast right there. Tabiso is going to be so happy about this. Whenever he sees French toast, it's like he gets his big googly eyes and he's like, oh my gosh.
Well, Tabiso's going to maybe have to fight me for these. I think he's going to have to put up a challenge to try and get one of these slices on there.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to fight you.
He's going to be fighting you for that.
It's on, brother.
So once it's beautifully golden brown, we're going to just take it out the pan. You can see it's very quick because my pan is nice and hot.
I see, so yeah. I noticed as the toast went in, it actually had a little bit of a sizzle.
Yes.
Which I would imagine is the perfect sound to cue you to know that the pan's hot enough.
Exactly. So I'm going to be extra naughty and add a little bit of icing sugar just to make it pretty. It's nice if you're presenting it to someone for a little breakfast.
Yeah.
Got some berries. You can top it up with banana if you want. If you do want to do a banana option, I would recommend the Super M banana to go with this.
Oh, that is actually a very good idea. That sounds delish.
I've served mine with mascarpone, but you can do fresh cream or a little bit of syrup, whatever you like.
Oh man, this is, I still don't think this is French toast. It's like turned into a cake. This is incredible, it looks so good. But what tasty tricks have you got up your sleeve at home now? Top fan Denise Blair shared a pic of the delicious prawns that she made using a clover butro oil. And since it's Africa month, those prawns are truly transporting us to the shores of Mozambique, reminding us of some deliciously grilled peri-peri prawns cooked over hot coals. Oh, take me back. But thank you so much for that. And now we are also salivating at Vanessa Abrams' chicken that looks perfectly balanced. It's healthy, it's tasty, and Vanessa used Clover Olive Pride for a grilled chicken fillet and the stir-fry veg, as well as Clover's fresh cream for the creamy mushroom sauce. And everything is just looking sublime today. And I haven't even worked out. I need to earn these meals. But we want to see what's cooking in your kitchen. So reply to the Clover competition post on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter page by posting a pic of your recipe creation. And of course, use the hashtag #LoveClover and tell us which Clover product you use to create your beautifully inspired dish. Now, of course, there will be one winner every week, right up until the 29th of May, of all the most creative recipes using a Clover product. And of course, the winner will win a Clover Love Pack hamper, and we'll be making that winning recipe right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And yeah, the show is of course going to include some of those lockdown cooking and baking skills. And to enter, make sure that you check out those T's and C's, which can be found on expressoshow.com.
Hola Mzansi! It's going to be a hot day in the big city. Super M, anytime gap filler. Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Now we shift gears for a really interesting story with a lot of heart. Western Cape-based nurse Taryn Lee Vergatini discovered that she had contracted the coronavirus earlier this month. She is one of hundreds of South African healthcare workers who have contracted the virus while working on the front lines. The 33-year-old has finished her 14-day self-isolation and now joins us this morning to share her story. I want to say a unique story, but unfortunately so many amazing health workers like you are putting yourselves at risk just by doing your job, so you're not alone, but this must have felt very lonely going through that. Taryn Lee, how are you feeling firstly?
Yeah, I'm feeling 100% thanks be to God the Almighty that healed me, really. And it was just me in my household. We are 4 members and only me.
Wow.
Yeah.
How have you felt through this process? At any point, did you really feel the effects? What was that physical journey like for you?
Wow, I was firstly crying when I got my results. I was down, very emotional. You know, when you, the fidelity, where am I gonna die? Am I gonna live? My children, my husband, and I'm only 2 years married, you know, things like that. Am I going to get through this? And luckily I was in my bedroom alone. Kids were downstairs, away from me, that loneliness. And family and friends sending WhatsApps, messages, saying, you got here and come on. Even my pastor told me, hello, why are you crying? And I'm like, Pastor Darren, are you serious? And he said, no, just stop it. Be that vessel, be who you are, be that friendly person you are. Don't let this virus put you down. We can get through this. And I believe me that was like in the bed for the 7 days, I was like down and out. Ooh, and the body pains and the cramps. Then I look, it's on the arms. So for youngsters like me, apparently I found out that the youngsters get it on their arms, like rashes, fine red pimples, not water pimples. And the feet, you know, your feet on a little bit in between the hands as well. But God really, if you really love him, if you serve him or do what you must, or the things that you do from your heart, he will get you through this. Believe you me.
I love that. So an emotional journey, obviously a physical journey, and I think a mental battle and struggle there as well.
Yes.
Maybe if we work backwards, were you able to identify the moment when you likely contracted the virus? Were you able to kind of reverse engineer to figure out your own path to contracting the virus?
A month ago, I went to a doctor in Belleville, and for my throat, I'm like, it was dry, and what is happening? I went to the doctor. He said, no, I don't have the virus. I have tonsillitis. And then now, the 2nd of May, I developed the same symptoms like my tonsillitis with the throat and the fever and the headache. But this time, the headaches, I was like, no, what's happening? And the chest pains, when the pastor spoke to me, I could hardly breathe. But I never had a fever. So I did not know it was the coronavirus. But I'm not going to say I picked it up at work. It's only the shops, work, and home. That was my basic. Oh, I love my job. I love old people.
You've clearly found your calling. We absolutely love that. What words of encouragement do you have for those who have, like you, been diagnosed with the coronavirus?
You never know. This is one of the most horrible, but like I say, only me in a household of 4 that got this virus. It is really a novel, I must say. But I would encourage people, hand sanitizer. Please, when you go to the shops, wherever, even I that was positive, I had to wear gloves. I had to wear a mask in the house. And even this.
And the screen, I love it.
So my encouragement, people, please drink lots of water, lots of warm liquids. We will get through this. If I could, so could many.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being such a beautiful, positive person. Thank you for sharing your insights. And thank you for being strong. I can see how much this has meant to you and how important your family is as well. So we're so glad that they are healthy and safe as well. And we at the Expresso Show would like to say thank you to all nurses, in fact, and doctors out there who are putting themselves at risk by working on the front line, effectively risking their own lives to save lives, to make the lives of others that much more comfortable during this COVID-19 pandemic. We really, really appreciate you. And we are forever in your debt to every healthcare hero out there. Thank you so much.
Fantastic stuff, and well done to all the healthcare workers out there who really are putting themselves in the front line and fighting this COVID-19, but also just reassuring us on a daily basis. Now, something really, really fun caught my attention on social media. In fact, all of our attention on social media. We've put it on our social media for you to comment on as well. Siya Kolisi, the captain of the Springboks, is definitely a man who commands respect and, you know, a reaction when he takes action, when he does something. And he is causing quite a stir with his latest challenge, which set on Tuesday on Instagram with a video showing him getting very busy, very, very busy. Take a look at this.
Mopping and everything, right? Getting down and dirty with it. I mean, this challenge, I'm a little torn by it.
Yeah, tell me more.
Because cleaning is not meant to be a one-sided kind of thing or a challenge. If you're not cleaning, who do you expect to clean after you?
Yes, I get what you mean, but you know, Siya Kolisi, you can see, I mean, obviously he's always traveling the world. He's got such a busy schedule being the captain of the Springboks. This becomes, you know, one of those things he doesn't often get to do. And during this time with COVID-19, I suppose many of our domestic helpers maybe may not be around. He really is helping around the house and maybe giving Rachel a bit of a break. It's quite interesting to see. I'm looking at the way he's mopping. You can see he's never done it before. And so I'm going to be sending him a video of how to mop.
Of how to actually clean properly.
But you know what? I'm inspired by this because there are lots of men out there who are at home during this lockdown who have never touched the broom or the mop and who might be inspired by this.
On the caption, he actually posted, "Ndisebenza ingathi ndithunyiwe le nkqayi inditshintshile intloko ipholile ndicinga into zam ngoku ndisebenza." Basically what he means is, so he posted a video of himself shaving his head completely bald. So he's saying that shave changed his entire life. It's changed him, so that's why he wants to do this and pay it forward. So he says, "I'm starting a challenge for men. Tag me in your house cleaning or cooking posts, and basically you could win a signed rugby t-shirt from him. Also drop your hashtag options below for this challenge. Masiye, as in like, let's go. I absolutely love it also because it kind of also interrogates the gender roles that are being played within, you know, the home setup. Like, how are you taking that on? Show us how you are doing that. Also, it's not limited to the challenge. Even post-challenge, when you win the rugby t-shirt, you better continue cleaning, all right?
I think it's a lot of fun. And I think, actually, don't just do it for the video. Send us videos. Guys out there, all the guys out there watching, send us a video of yourself doing a bit of a clean-up in the house. But don't just make it about the video. No. Actually do the real, actual cleaning. And then send us a before and after of the kitchen. This is fun.
G-Man,
hands up, Captain, my captain. I'm going to teach you how to mop, my boss. Yes, Chief, I'm here.
I want to know if G actually helps around the house. G, do you?
G, do you?
I'm the guy. You don't understand. I am the Cinderella in my house. I do everything. I love it. No, it's something I've embraced. And obviously, with having new Bubba there, Linz is juggling enough balls as well. But I will strap the baby to me and I will grab the mop and the vacuum. But we all have certain things that we're good at or that we hate less than the other stuff. But I love the fact that he's gone old school with the spaghetti mop. That's my vibe as well. You've got to get in there, man.
I'm kind of feeling like, I wonder if he did it just for the video or he was like really just getting in there?
He's that because he's that kind of guy. He's a family and home more than anything else in his life. I've learned that through my connection with him. And it seems like the men are standing up there. Let's check on one of our regulars, Josephine Pixton. She says, "My husband loves to help around the house. He cleans and he cooks sometimes and does shopping sometimes, cleans the kitchen. Hashtag Dave Pixton, hashtag Expresso Show SABC3. Lots of love, Josephine. Right on, yeah.
Love it. Another one comes through from Leslie Johnson saying, "Before lockdown, my hubby has helped me clean the house, wash the dishes, he hung up the washing. It's not new for him." We love that, Leslie.
Yeah, and then Jolene Hayward weighing in saying, "My husband absolutely helps. He does love to cook. He does almost all the cooking. We're a team, yo." And that's what I think it is. I feel like I'm part of a cleaning team. And in fact, today is a bit of a cleaning day. So we're going to be doing that today.
Listen, last but not least, we've got Eric, the chef, Bay, saying to me, "Kitchen is Bay, you are Bay." Listen, I need to know where you guys find his husbands. Please send us your husbands' brothers' numbers because we need to find husbands that cooks and cleans.
I don't know if that's going to be the best way to attract a man to your life. Do you like to clean? Oh, man, come on over. But keep those comments coming. We'd love to see you doing your part at home.
Swipe right. Swipe left.
People's numbers.
So I'm chatting to Umalume Mosa here. He's owned a small clothing factory for years now, and he's always inspired me with his success. But like a lot of businesses, this lockdown's hit him hard. So he spoke to his banker, and they've put together a tailor-made relief solution for him to help his business and his people get through this. Making your bank your business partner, that's a habit worth keeping.
Thanks for staying with your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic brings travel to a standstill, causing massive jobs and revenue losses, prompting the question, will there be light at the end of the tunnel? Thomas Mxolisi Kaunda, Mayor of eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality, joins us on the line this morning via video call to chat more about this. The wonders of eThekwini and Durban Tourism's coronavirus recovery program. It's exciting. I promise it is. Good morning, Mayor. Thank you so much for making the time.
Good morning and good morning to your viewers. Thank you for having us.
Mayor Kaunda, the local economy has taken a massive knock in the wake of COVID-19. I mean, we see it everywhere we turn. Does the city have a post-pandemic recovery plan in place after the lockdown?
Yes, we did. If you look at how we became proactive in relation to prepare ourselves for COVID-19 and beyond COVID-19, we're the first city to produce an economic recovery plan, which has been really communicated, and interactions have been held with various stakeholders, including big businesses. Today, we had our own webinar with businesses, the captains of industry in our city, outlining what is entailed in the economic recovery plan of the city. But part of the things which we highlighted to them is that the city is hard at work, because we understand the strain that COVID-19 has put to many sectors of our economy, especially tourism, manufacturing, finance and trading, transport, and many other sectors within the city. And even those who are artists on creative industry have been raising many challenges with us. So as a city, we are introducing many packages and incentives on the filming industry. We'll be charging no fees for those who want to come and record films in eThekwini. And you know how beauty eThekwini is with all the offerings that we have. We'll also be increasing our incentives when it comes to local, rural and township tourism packages and destinations. We've been giving those community organizations 250,000. Now we'll increase that to 500,000 rand. We'll also be deferring rentals to our facilities, those who are doing business with us as a city, who are renting to our premises, so that we can also support them during this difficult period, so that they can recoup back to their operations and make their businesses work and sustain jobs that are out there.
It's fantastic to see, Mayor, that, you know, all the efforts that you are putting in span across different industries. So you're not leaving any one single industry left out in the process. You're looking at the hospitality space, you're looking at entertainment, film and television, and touching just about everywhere you can, which is wonderful. But now you've got events like the Durban July that's now happening, but happening in a different way. And then you've got Africa's Travel in Daba, the Comrades Marathon, which all obviously are Durban offerings. The question then is, does Durban have new offerings for tourists after the lockdown is over then?
Definitely, there must be new normal approach in whatever we are doing. COVID-19 has presented many opportunities. Yes, there is high level of negativity, but those possibilities need to be seized. Part of that is to use technology in ensuring that we still continue to roll out our programs, but most of our events are not cancelled, they are postponed, so that we can monitor the situation as things pick up, and we'll be able to go back to there. But although the manner in which they will be conducted, there will be a major change when it comes to that. So we are working with all stakeholders, with all those events organizers, to make sure that Durban does not lose its own position of becoming a tourist destination and investment destination.
Love it. Many of us, Mr. Kaunda, we are coping with high levels of anxiety during this pandemic. Are there any attractions that could be considered therapeutic to look forward to after the lockdown period has ended that we can come check out in eThekwini or Durban?
You'll note that eThekwini has been declared as the greenest city in the world. So that on its own is an advantage in relation to the program that we are putting, but we'll be working together with many attraction offers that we have especially Oshaga Marine, which is one of the beautiful package that we are offering to tourists. Those who have not been in Durban, you have missed a lot if we haven't taken a walk to our promenade, which is the biggest promenade in Africa. That promenade presents many opportunities for families to come and walk and stage walkabouts around it. There are also offerings in relation to trading shops that are along the beach. And we must also state that we are in possession of 2 seasons as eThekwini. It's summer and the summer. So you'll never get trouble with winter and its challenges in eThekwini. It's always warm, it's cool to be there, and you must always come there wearing your coolest things to ensure that you enjoy the beauty. So those are the kind of interventions, and there are a lot of offerings, including the proximity to our shopping malls and the transportation system, which is affordable, which is safe and reliable in eThekwini through Go Durban. That is also available.
Well, this is fantastic. I mean, Durban is without a doubt the warmest place to be, and there is something for everyone. Well, the bottom line is that you are not going to find this sort of beauty anywhere else. The season is always a good season to visit Durban and eThekwini. Thank you so much for making time to chat to us this morning, Mr. Thomas Kaunda, the mayor of eThekwini Municipality. And of course, from international tourists to those that are looking to experience their own country, homegrown over here. Everyone loves experiencing Durban, the warmest place to be without a doubt. With the national lockdown in full effect at the moment, now is really the perfect time to let your fingers do the sightseeing. Stay home and see the city online by visiting www.visitdurban.travel or go onto their social media pages at DBN Tourism for more. Winter or spring, summer or autumn, Durban is always the warmest place to be.
What an important conversation that was with Uncle Tabzi and the mayor of eThekwini, Thomas Kaunda, to learn that, you know, industries that are heavily affected by COVID-19 are being assisted. Puts my heart at ease to know that our people are supported. So kudos to you for that. Now, something else that the COVID-19 and lockdown has, you know, impacted a little bit is celebrating Eid. It's around the corner, but if you're looking for a vegetarian option to add to your Eid table for lunch, then this dal and cauliflower curry is a great choice. Lap it up with some naan bread or serve it on rice. It is still the perfect smaller family meal and comfort food at this best. And who else to show us how to achieve this delicious, mouth-watering dish than Clem Pedro?
I like when you sing me in. It's like, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. I appreciate it so much.
This is a vegetarian option, right?
It is. But you know what we started doing is before lockdown, when we all got together as a family, when we had like curry night, we wouldn't just have one curry. We'd have like 4 different types of curries. We'd always have like a vegetarian curry, like a big beef curry. You know what I mean? Just kind of mix up the flavors. One really spicy, one really mild. So we got into this. It's called like a thali.
Thali.
A thali, T-H-A-L-I. It's when we have like a spread of curries, which I think is really amazing. So this is one of the curries that we would normally make, a cauliflower curry, which is so delicious because especially if you don't eat meat, this guy will absolutely carry you through and you won't notice you're not eating meat.
I love that.
So we're going to turn it into a main today.
Okay,
right?
Not a side dish.
It's not a side dish, it's the main chick.
The main chick,
it's the main
all right?
chick. Okay, so what we got here, we got some onions. They're very important. A lot of the first mistake people make with curry is the fact that they don't cook their onions down properly. You've got to cook until it goes brown. And what happens is it releases the sugars in the onions. The onions become beautifully soft and they actually add flavor and texture to your curry. If you don't cook your onions down, it adds like a bit of a sharp taste to it, slight bitterness. You want to cook those onions nice and low and slow. Add a bit of salt to it.
Oh, low and slow to brown it. So I was about to ask, how do you then make sure that your onions are brown instead of burnt brown?
And that's the thing, low and slow. And also adding salt to your onions, very important. It draws out the moisture and helps it kind of steam as it fries. And you'll see it'll soften very quickly. Take a little longer to actually brown. It won't blacken.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never actually thought about putting my salt in onions before putting everything else in the pot.
And that's for any dish that you start off with an onion. You got it, you got it. So I'm actually browning my onions off in ghee, and we spoke about ghee. Ghee is amazing. Okay, my firstborn child will be named... Okay, I'm just joking.
I was about to say, girl.
Okay, I can't do that. No, baby ghee. Baby ghee. Ghee sounds exotic. Okay, but what it is it's clarified butter, right? So they've slowly cooked the butter.
Okay.
Skimmed off all the white solids that come with the top. And you live with this middle layer. And that is just beautiful, beautiful, intense butter flavor, but it also doesn't burn as quickly as normal butter. So that's in there. So onions, ghee. When you start off that recipe... Yeah, the salt. You start with that recipe, you're already winning. To that, we're going to add our carrots. So these are just diced up carrots. Like what you can try to do is you can try and soften these carrots, and you'll be surprised how quickly carrots will actually soften in the pot just with the onions and the ghee and the salt. And again, that salt does help to draw out the moisture, so to soften it quickly. As soon as those carrots become a little soft, you go in with your garlic. You don't want to add your garlic and your carrots at the same time. There's a lot of sugar in garlic. Have you ever handled garlic and your fingers go sticky?
Oh yes, that's sugar.
And that'll burn so quickly. So once, again, fast forward. Imagine we have soft carrots right now. In goes the garlic, and I'm loving garlic. I swear.
Sorry, Clem, for disturbing you, but can I put my ginger with the garlic in there?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I believe the two of them together, they just live together, and it goes so well together in the pot. They cook evenly as well. So for your ginger, a lot of times you buy it fresh.
Ginger's right here.
Right here, yeah. You buy fresh like this, and people use a veggie peeler or they use a knife, and they end up like cutting off the side to cut off the skins.
Yes.
But you're cutting off the skins, and so much of the ginger's coming off with the skins. So it's very simple. Just grab a spoon, and all you have to do is just start pulling back, and you pull back the skins of the ginger, and you can see it's easier, it's faster than using a veggie peeler, and that's all you need to peel your ginger.
Kitchen hacks, okay?
We're here all day.
With Chef Clem, all day, every day. Now make sure to get your hands on this amazing recipe on our website, expressoshow.com. And what I love about the different curries, Clem, is that, I mean, of course, it can be a main chick, but it could also be a side kind of dish to pair it up with other meals on the table.
I agree, and I love that. It's all about like getting creative in the kitchen and playing with flavors and playing with textures. And it's kind of turning a normal average dinner into something very, very special.
Yes.
And I like it. Curries are very special to me. So, like I said, I think I said it yesterday, I can wake up and have a curry straight up in the morning. No problem at all. No problem at all. Yeah. Okay, red chili going in. Now we're going to move at a pace, okay? So we've got some turmeric, garam masala, and we've got some chili powder going in with our fresh chili.
What is curry without spices?
Exactly, absolutely. I want to add a bit of texture, so a bit of extra cumin seeds going in. And that's going to toast up nicely. I love the heat. I know you love the heat too.
Same.
Chili flakes going in, and I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
We're not chickening out.
Nah. We're good. Winter's coming and we want to be ready for it.
A very warm, hearty meal.
Yeah, what a bit of extra ghee. Fat's very important in a curry. Fat carries the curry spices through the curry. You don't even have fat, you're not going to get all that intense flavor, which is actually what you want.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Curry leaves, that's going in. Just like that. Take it off the stem. I mean, and people, you can actually chomp on these. So don't take it out of your curry. I think it's perfectly fine in there. Give that a good mix. And immediately, once you add those curry leaves, it smells like the most amazing curry ever.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Now, to that, we're going to add stock. This is optional for me because I find like you get enough flavor from the spices already and everything that's going on in there. But I mean, some people like using stock, so go for that.
What stock is that? Is it chicken stock?
That's a chicken stock. Okay. But you can totally use veggie stock by all means. It's a vegetarian dish, so veggie stock would be the best thing. So sorry, that was actually veggie stock. But yeah, absolutely, use what you have at home. Dal. Lentils. These are amazing. We don't have enough dal in our diet. These are really great. They cook so quickly and it adds so much texture to your curry. So these are going in. They really cook very quickly.
Those are part of the group, the main, characters in the movie, alongside the cauliflower.
One of my favorite dishes is Cass Abrams' dal curry. She's like the doyen of like Cape Malay cooking. She's amazing, and she effortlessly makes this like dal curry, and she talks to you, which I absolutely love. People that can cook and talk at the same time.
Like you.
Thank you. And then boom, you eat this dal, and you're like,
made with love.
You can tell. It's so amazing. Okay, cauliflower. What you can do, which I do always, whenever I do roasted cauliflower curry, I roast my cauliflower in the oven, get it nice and charred. Then I put it into the curry, so you get extra flavor. We're gonna add our tinned tomatoes and our water, and we're gonna simmer it, and 20 minutes later, we're eating. Done. And again, like all curries, they taste better the next day.
Oh, so it needs to sleep overnight.
Let it sleep overnight, yeah, if you can wait that long. So this recipe came from Taste Magazine because I love being a chef. I actually like cooking other people's recipes, and I like search the internet. I went to Taste for this one. Check it out online. They've got so many recipes, perfect for lockdown right now. So get the ingredients from Woolies, get the recipe, get cooking.
Well, there you have it, a quick and easy Eid kind of table meal for the family.
Welcome back, all you beautiful people, right here to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Happy Thursday. But we are switching gears a bit. A dark cloud has covered the South African fashion industry after renowned designer Conrad de Mol passed away on Tuesday, the 19th of May. He was the founder of de Mol, a gender-neutral fashion brand that was established in 1997. We speak to the director of South Africa Fashion Week to share thoughts and sympathies. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Lucilla.
Good morning. Thank you.
I think we spoke briefly in the ad break right now, but his life, we want to celebrate, we want to pay tribute to him this morning. How do you remember Conrad de Mol?
Well, yes, it's a very sad week for all of us indeed. And I'd like to say that when I think of Conrad, I really feel that he was an amazing designer, and we say that very easily. But you know, he had an eye for detail. He was hugely talented. He was creative. He was original, and every design that he brought out onto that runway was completely unique. And he also had the ability to take an inspiration and turn that into a commercially viable collection, like he's done with his Autumn-Winter 2020 collection, where he took inspiration from Paljas, the clown, and maybe our listeners should Google it because it's a very interesting story. And he turned that Paljas was this clown that came to a town, to a poor town, and he brought magic and hope. And Conrad took that inspiration and he turned it into a contemporary story of luxury, of hope and magic that would have sold out if it wasn't for COVID. He also had an in-depth knowledge of the full value chain of the creative fashion industry, and he understood how to translate international trends into a South African design aesthetic.
I think what everyone's going to remember is also him always breaking boundaries, you know, stepping into the role of design and production technology tutor of South Africa's Fashion Week's 21 Steps to Retail Designer program. For you, what influence and guidance did he have to offer to people looking up to him in this industry?
Well, you know, he was an absolutely trailblazer. In 2007, he was the first designer to show a gender-neutral collection. I mean, it was absolutely incredible and almost unheard of. If you can think about it, it's more than 10 years ago. And he went on in 2017 to win the Scouting Menswear, which was a really, really prestigious competition in the South African Fashion Week calendar. And then sort of the cherry on the cake for him was in 2019, he won the Cape Wool Designer Challenge. Now, this is a really incredible competition because it's a secret competition. Nobody knows the names. It's all judged by international judges. So he was selected by top international fashionistas as one of the winners of the Cape Wool SA Designer Challenge.
We spoke about it briefly, but maybe you can just share with the rest of South Africa. You knew Conrad since 1997. What type of man was he, and how will you remember him?
I think one can write a book about Conrad, because there was the Conrad that you knew, and then the Conrad that was a very, very private person. So he was incredibly caring, and nothing was too much for him. If I picked up the phone, we are doing a mask initiative called the My Mask initiative, where we're taking the designer masks and we're selling it to corporates, and we're going to sell it at Sandton City. And I called him and I said to him, please do a pricing for me, because you know, when you do something, you don't know what the pricing is, what it should be, you know. And he did a pricing, and he did a whole sort of background on it. Nothing was ever too much for him. He was sharing, he shared his knowledge. He wasn't scared to share telephone numbers and secrets about the industry. He was a perfectionist. He was incredibly hardworking. He was loyal. He was gentle. He was honest. He was proud of his work. And he really felt that his team was his family. And that is what is so heartbreaking is the fact that there is really no support for the South African designers in this country. I mean, in the end, the designers, there's this perception that they are these incredibly wealthy because they create these wonderful and beautiful collections. But back at the ranch, they are actually battling because the margins, the profit margins are so low. And there's no funding for them, not to pay their staff, not to help them through this crisis, nothing.
Lucilla, I think that once the pandemic is over, even starting right now, that we all have to support our South African, our local designers, give back to them because they all need it so much, especially you guys working out the industry and pushing boundaries on the international level. But thank you so much, Lucilla, for joining us this morning to pay tribute to such an iconic designer, not just in South Africa, but that has pushed boundaries and set us apart on a global stage.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. He was really a leader, an all-rounder.
Thank you so much. To everyone, closest to Conrad, we send our deepest sympathies and condolences to his families, and we hope that his memory and his mind and all his designs lives on forever. Right now, though, we are going to delve into those news headlines one more time.
Thank you so much, ladies. After that brilliant discussion, let's delve into our national news headlines. Again, the Competition Commission has, since lockdown started, received a total of 1,354 complaints and tip-offs from the public about inflated prices. Now, complaints concern allegations that retailers, traders, suppliers and pharmacies are charging excessive prices for COVID-19 related products, including masks, sanitizers, personal protective equipment and other essential goods, as well as even basic food items. Now, some of the complaints related to inflated prices of up to 1,000%. In 2 instances, firms pleaded guilty and agreed to pay a fine after the matter was handed over to the Competition Tribunal. Then the Department of Water and Sanitation spokesperson Sputnik Ratau yesterday said the Vaal Dam could soon sit below 50% as water levels continue to shrink on a weekly basis. He said in the same week last year, the Vaal Dam was at 72.2%. This as Gauteng enters the dry winter season as well. He called on water users in the province to utilize the commodity with care and to be particularly cognizant of the Vaal Dam being responsible for supplying water to many households and businesses. Then on the international front, an Israeli court yesterday rejected a request by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to be absent from the opening of his corruption trial next week, saying he must abide by the practice of hearing the charges in person. Netanyahu had asked Jerusalem District Court to be excused from his May 24th arraignment, deeming that the event was a formality and a waste of public funds. Indicted for bribery, fraud and breach in 3 long-running cases, he denies any wrongdoing. Then UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has praised Africa's swift response to the coronavirus pandemic, with reported cases much lower than initially feared. He said most African countries had moved rapidly to deepen regional coordination, deploy health workers and enforce quarantines, lockdowns and border closures. They are also drawing on their experience of HIV and AIDS and Ebola to debunk rumors and overcome mistrust of government security forces and health workers. Now, the continent has so far confirmed 94,000 cases of COVID-19, including 3,000 deaths. And now, a feel-good story on how a UCT student brings food deliveries to her Limpopo village. Lockdown has sparked the entrepreneurial spirit in many South Africans, and one such person is 22-year-old Lita Mhlongo, who sells kotas at 20 Rand each in a village in Giyani in Limpopo. Now, kota is, for those who don't know, is a delicacy consisting of a quarter of a loaf of bread that is hollowed out, then filled with French fries, then topped with optional layers of sauce, cheese, egg, maybe even meat. Now, businesses in her case is booming, and between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. villagers can place phone and WhatsApp orders to Mhlongo, who then delivers by bicycle free of charge. She says she started the business because she wants the people living in her village to feel what it's like to receive food deliveries, as those in deep rural areas are usually left out when it comes to such luxuries. Mhlongo holds a BSc degree in chemistry from Pretoria University and is currently doing a postgraduate certificate in education at UCT. She is obviously home now as the university officially is closed, but bringing some joy to her community, and we applaud her for it. Now, turning our gaze to the world of entertainment one last time. After only one season in the titular role in the Batwoman series, Australian actress and model Ruby Rose has sent shockwaves through Hollywood by announcing that she is not returning to the production for the next season, leaving the show temporarily without a lead. Now, in her official statement, Ruby said she was not this was not a decision that was made lightly, as I have the utmost care for the cast, crew and everyone involved with the show in both Vancouver and Los Angeles. The 34-year-old's casting made history as the first openly gay superhero to headline a television series. She unfortunately received a lot of backlash for her casting, forcing her to delete her Twitter account. And in 2019, the actress revealed that she sustained severe injuries on the set of the show and underwent surgery after an injury that left her facing possible paralysis. So the studio and network have now issued a statement thanking Rose for her contributions to the success of season 1 and are firmly committed to producing season 2 and her casting, of course, a new lead actress and member of the LGBTQ community. And that's where we leave our news headlines for the day. In just a moment, we're going to be catching up with an old friend, Nick Hammond, who's got some really good news for us, of course, kickstarting a new chapter in his life. So we look forward to doing that in just a moment. Please join us.
We know it's been tough, South Africa. To distance yourself from the warmth of KZN's shores, from exploring the majestic mountaintops of the Ukahlamba Drakensberg, to dancing to the beat of Zulu warriors, from enjoying the thrills of ziplining down Africa's longest zipline at Lake Eland, and marveling at our World Heritage Sites and beauty of the Isimangaliso Wetland Park, to creating unforgettable adventures walking amongst the Big Five. But while you're missing out on these unbelievable experiences for now, distancing yourself from all the things you love to do, remember, KZN will see you soon. Kumbula, iKZN izonibona kungebudala. Believe it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. You are still with your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso here on SABC3. Now, this next guy, he studied politics, philosophy. He's a drummer, DJ, reads prolifically, and all of this combines to make him someone you want to listen to. It's Nick Hammond, everyone, the new 5FM Afternoon Drive Show host. And, of course, he joins us right here on the show this morning to chat to us about the effects of the national lockdown and how he's providing listeners with groundbreaking, youth-driven content that can't be found anywhere else. Welcome to Expresso, Nick Hammond.
Good morning. It's good to be back.
It's been a while, man. We miss having you on the show and seeing your face on here. But, of course, we are listening to you on a daily basis on your brand new show there on 5FM. Congratulations on that, the brand new Drive Time host.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm incredibly excited. I think it's exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's been a long road, starting out in 2011 in commercial radio, grinding 3 to 6 in the morning, 9 to 12 and 5 since 2014. And finally we're here, and I feel like it's time.
It is certainly time, but of course here we are, the times we're living in as well, the COVID-19 pandemic that's resulted in a national lockdown, as we know, as an aid to limit the number of infected cases. How have you been dealing with the lockdown, and how are you keeping safe and sane at home?
Well, I'm really lucky and fortunate that I get to keep working. I mean, we all have a lot of people in our families who aren't able to work and aren't able to continue life as normal. And the fact that I'm able to do that, I think, is a large reason for the fact that I've kept not only sane but excited, because I have a platform and in a position to be able to create content every day and speak to people at a time when history is unfolding before our eyes. And I think that that's a remarkably privileged, lucky position to be in. And it fuels me every day to talk on the radio and talk about what's going on and comment on it and interact with people that are going through this in real time as well. It's really special.
And the fact that you get to work is quite something. Here you are on a brand new show, and stepping into that show, having conversations like what you're having now that have to do with coronavirus must be quite interesting. You've replaced Thando Tabete on this afternoon drive time show on 5FM. Do you feel the burden to, sort of step into her shoes and follow in her footsteps in the way that she's laid them and make listeners want to switch the station because they're so used to her? Is it any different? Is it any difficult at all?
No, I don't feel the need to step into anybody's shoes. I've got my own shoes.
Good man.
I think that people who know me follow me in what I do, and they know that I'm incredibly passionate about content, people. We've been doing groundbreaking things for the last almost 10 years now. We plan to continue doing that. I have tremendous respect for Thando and what she did, and I think she's going to go on to continue to do incredible things, but it's a different show. I'm a different person, and I plan to bring my energy and my passion to what I do.
And I think that's what makes it so exciting to hear someone that is passionate and so rooted in themselves and so confident in themselves and their ability to connect with the people in the way that you do. I really do love your work, Nick. So you posted that people will only start to reconnect with their normal routine of listening to radio in the car. Has the pandemic and the national lockdown changed the way that people are listening to the radio at the moment?
Yes, it has. I mean, there's a lot of research that's come through anecdotally in South Africa, but also on a global stage where people are reconnecting with radio a lot more than usual. So yes, the routine is disrupted. People aren't listening in their car on the way home from work. But the one thing that radio can do that other mediums struggle with is radio can react to things in real time. So if you want to know what real people are doing from 3 to 6 in the afternoon, the easiest and best way to do that during this unusual time is to just switch your radio on and listen to us. And I know it's abnormal, but at the moment, I mean, we've got a whole team of people working around the clock to do some amazing content. And I think that even now, I think some of our best work is going to be done because we're taking all our risks now and we're not pulling any punches, and we're kind of trying to be as interesting, informative, and maybe even provocative as we can.
And how are you keeping it fresh? Nick, I can imagine being on radio and running a show for that long must be quite difficult because you've got this COVID-19 pandemic hovering all over the place here, but you've still got to keep the content quite varied, and you're not just speaking about the doom and gloom of COVID-19. Have you found that to be quite an exciting challenge to be able to keep things light during this rather not so light time?
Incredibly. I mean, we do it both ways. If the situation calls for us to be serious and it calls for us to get experts on or speak to leaders and challenge them in the right way, then we absolutely do that. And if the situation calls for people to feel a sense of emotional connection through the radio, that's what we do. The reality of the world that we live in, before all of this, during all of this, and after all of this, is that it changes every day. There's a lot of moving parts to what's going on. And so long as we keep our finger on the pulse, which I think that I've got a great team of people that are super capable of doing that from all different corners of South Africa, it's never going to get stale because the world is never going to sit still.
I love it. Always a step ahead, Nick Hammond. Thank you so much, man, for connecting with us this morning. We wish you all the best with the new show. You are doing such a fantastic job. I know the people out there love you, and to have you walk this journey with them during this time, even better. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Really fantastic. This man, Nick Hammond, he's really excited about providing radio that's stimulating, exciting, and engaging with content that really does appeal to South Africans who are educated. They are young at heart. They're positive about our country and what our country can achieve. And you, of course, can listen to him on the radio weekdays, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. only on 5FM. Thanks very much, Nick Hammond.
A big shout out to Nick Hammond, man. I mean, a man of many talents, but one of which is, of course, serving us with nothing but the latest music, darling. I miss his beats uncovered on the show. He's part of the family, BT Dubs, Chef King.
Okay.
So it's good to see that you are doing all well. But right now, though, we are back in the kitchen. Earlier on, we made dal and cauliflower curry, and you are just in time to make something as delicious and nice and mouth-watering, because it might not be possible to celebrate Eid with extended family and loved ones this year, but it can still be delicious and comforting, right? Now we are making butter chicken, which is a milder curry that the whole family can tuck into and is perfect for dinner. It looks very delicious, Kim, I have to say.
It's really fragrant, absolutely fragrant. And again, this recipe came from Taste Online. I went to the website, I checked on the butter chicken recipe. So I'm making theirs today. It's going to be delicious. I mean, how good does that look?
It looks so delicious, I'm not going to lie. What are the ingredients that we have on the table?
Okay.
I'm seeing a few foreign ingredients here.
Talk me through what you think is foreign right now.
I'm seeing those different spices over there. I'm seeing
Should we talk about the spices?
Yes.
Let's talk about the spices. So on here, we've got, the obvious one is a big red chili. Got to add a bit of heat. But chili doesn't only add heat, it adds flavor as well. So don't be scared of chili. Like, use it to add flavor to your dishes, like we're doing today. This one's a dry chili, but you can use fresh if you want. Totally fine.
What's the difference between dry and fresh?
A lot of times when the moisture's being removed from the chili and it's drier, it does tend to have a little more heat in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but what you can do, I mean, I do this often. I kind of taste my chilies, just a little bit of it, just to see how hot it is. Because you could look at a chili and be like, you're
fine.
Yeah, but then it just comes through out of nowhere.
It's lit in the mouth.
So like a little taste, just like you're not gonna burn, just to get an idea.
But something that I've learned from you, sorry for cutting you off, is that
go, please.
with the chili, if it's too hot, but you want the flavor of chili, you just cut it in half and place it in your pot.
Instead of chopping it.
Instead of chopping it.
Cool, amazing.
Do I get a gold star?
You do, you get more. No. Oh yes, on your report.
Actually, no, I'm not going to start this conversation again. Shh. Continue with the meal.
We won't talk about it. We won't talk about
Graham, can you please just...
Stop it, Graham, stop it. Leave the children alone. I mean, leave Kuchle alone. Stop it, stop it.
It's been nice, thanks,
I'm joking, come back. Okay, go. So it's chili in there. Then a lot of people don't use bay leaves in the curry. They think like, no, if you use curry leaves, don't use bay leaves. Nuh-uh. Bay leaves add so much intense flavor to it, so use your bay leaves. Fresh or dried, use your bay leaves in there. Then we got almonds. That actually adds a bit of creaminess to your curry. The buttery flavor isn't only from the butter. It comes from like either cashews that they've blended up or the almonds, and it's so delicious. It adds a creaminess without adding cream. Definitely a go. Then we got some cumin seeds. Amazing. Black pepper. Why don't people use enough black pepper in their curry?
I have no idea why people don't use black pepper in general. On anything.
You must. It's also good for your digestion.
Oh, I didn't know
Look at that. Absolutely. Then we got cloves, and we got coriander seed, and then this, guys. These will ruin your day.
Oh,
these will end.
What are those?
Day. It's cardamom seeds, okay?
Oh.
Now, cardamom seeds are really great. They add a lot of flavor. However, bite on one of these.
What happens?
And then it's basically like 2020, it's just been cancelled. You know that, right? This guy basically, it's the same thing. You're enjoying a curry, boom, eat on this, cancel. It just overtakes, it's everything. It gets in your sinuses, you can't get rid of it. It's strong. It's an amazing, amazing spice. But in a curry, in a sauce, and often people crush it and then put it in. Do that rather. Okay, so that's in there. Cool. So what we did is we actually toasted all of these, and then we ground it in a coffee grinder or pestle and water until they're like super, super fine. Then we added our chicken breast to it with turmeric and with yogurt. And what happens is, chicken breast normally is very, very dry. Yeah. When you actually marinate like this, it sucks up all the flavor of the curry and the yogurt actually tenderizes. You can use chicken thighs, which is very, very juicy.
Oh, yeah.
However, with this marinade, you'll be perfectly fine with the chicken breast. Let's turn up the heat now. Now we're gonna move super quick. So onions and ghee in there with some
salt.
With some salt. Now we're gonna go with some garlic and ginger. That's gonna go in there.
Okay.
Then to that we're going to add. I want to like really make the super punch. I want to add some extra turmeric in there. Yeah, you can totally. I'm gonna take this extra chili because I love chili. I love the heat. And also, if you're worried about the heat, just remove the seeds from it. There's a lot of heat in there as well. Cool, that's in there. Tomato puree going in. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna cook this down. You're gonna reduce the sauce. You're gonna add stock to it, and you're gonna cook it down until the puree is about half the volume that it was. And that just means that tomato, all the spices, everything is in there super intensified. So we're gonna swap it out. This is what it actually looks like after it's been reduced by half.
Okay.
Cool. Like you can see it's by half, literally. So what I would do now is at home, I would actually pop this on a grill pan and char it so black that you think it's burnt. It's not burnt. Okay.
What happens? Is it the sauce?
Yeah, it's just a sauce, and it caramelizes, and with that smokiness, when it looks so charred, it adds so much flavor to your butter curry. However, if it's an extra process for you, don't worry about that. Just use this. But I've got some extra curry leaves, so our friends are going in. I love curry leaves. Curry leaves are so great.
They are an essential for curry.
It's an essential for lockdown.
Period.
Period. Done. Absolutely. So you've added your beautiful chicken that's been marinating overnight or even for 4 hours, and you're going to mix that through there. You let it like all come together, and it's going to reduce again. I've got some extra coconut milk, and I don't want to waste that. That's going to go in, and that's going to even make it more creamier.
Creamier.
It's so creamy. This is not. If you're watching. Oh, by the way, it's confirmed. Calories don't count during lockdown, eh? So you can eat. It doesn't matter. It's been approved. It's been approved.
Misbehaving has been unlocked during lockdown.
Done. Absolutely. Then we got some butter. So I only want to add 2 of these cubes of butter. Okay.
You said 2.
Yeah, but it's lockdown. It's lockdown. So you mix that through. So you're going to let this cook down. It's going to reduce. The flavors are going to be so insane. The trick, though, is after it's reduced and you add your butter, turn the heat off. All right, or else the fats start to separate. Once you add your heat, once you add your butter, off the heat, serve it with some naan, some papadums, some rice, butter chicken.
And we're done.
And we're done.
Oh, wow. I love that so much. Quick and easy and mouth-watering. If you would like to get your hands on this recipe, make sure to visit expressoshow.com. Oh, it smells delicious, Clem.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
To celebrate Africa Month this May, we look at one of the most influential South African sportsmen in history, Gerrie Coetzee, one of our favorites, the former boxer, competed from 1974 to 1986, and then in 1993 and 97 made history on 2 occasions, becoming the first African ever to fight in and win the world heavyweight title. Gerrie remains one of the greatest South African sportsmen, I think, who acquired fame at a very difficult time, the height of the apartheid regime as well. His overall record stands at 33 wins, 6 losses and 1 draw, with 20 of those incredible wins coming by knockout. So the life of Gerrie Coetzee will be coming to life in the form of a biopic, and we're about to chat to the executive producer, Kendry Otok, all the way from Washington, D.C., to chat about his latest production. Kendry, a very good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm really good. Thank you so much for joining us. I know bright and early where you are at the moment, so we really appreciate connecting with you. You seem like a fantastic guy, and if you're a fan of Gerrie, then you're already going to be a friend of ours. So maybe let's start there. What inspired that connection? What brought you about to tell the story of a South African boxing legend? Where did the idea first form?
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, I saw Gerrie on a BBC documentary, and then when I saw it, it really blew my mind off. You know, it's like, this guy is such a great champion, you know. And after that, I just got smitten, you know, by him.
He's an incredible guy. I've had the pleasure of meeting him, albeit really briefly, but his story is just an incredible one. I think one thing that stands out for me in his journey to becoming a world champion, his perseverance. It took him obviously a few attempts before capturing that belt. There was John Tate, then Dwayne Weaver before beating Boks. How do you intend focusing on that boxing narrative? How are you going to cover the action in the ring, and how much of his boxing story are you going to tell?
Absolutely. Yeah, he's such a great fighter, and one thing about Jerry is he's such a great champion, and he's so subdued. Even where he lives now in Cape Town, a lot of people don't even know he's a former WBA world champion. He's just so quiet, So going back to the boxing events are great, and he fought all his big fights in South Africa, had some big episodes with people like Kali Kunotsi, and then after he lost a couple of fights, all the big fights he lost in South Africa, and then he won all the big fights in the US.
I think it speaks volumes about his character as well, his attitude as a fighter. Now that you've gotten to meet him and really explore his life, what about his character do you find most compelling? What are you looking forward to bringing to life in the movie?
Absolutely. Yeah, I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, you work like the nicest person, like talking to him. And then when he gets into a ring, he's an animal. Yeah, it's like when we went out for dinner, we sat down, we're talking, laughing. And then I said to myself, wow, this guy is incredible. And the first time I met him, the people, they came to me and said, is that him? Is that him? I said, yeah, it is him.
Really unassuming, and I've seen him kind of in connection with his family as well. His grandson's a brilliant boxer as well, but I've seen just how much of a heart he has as well, which I think speaks to the nature of the man. And if we look back at that time in particular, especially in the early years of his boxing, he presented a rather interesting conundrum for the apartheid regime, not earning a lot of fans, I would imagine, by some of his very brave choices at the time, who he chose to surround himself with, who he chose to train with. Is this kind of dynamic tension within that apartheid period something you're going to focus on? Will there be that political element in the film, or is it going to be a down-the-line boxing? Can you make just a boxing film considering the time when he was boxing?
Sure. Yeah, we're going to focus somewhat on the apartheid thing, because it actually hindered him from moving into bigger things,
Yeah.
Because when he fought in the US, he had protesters. We come down to Washington, D.C., the South African embassy, they had people protesting. And then when he had his big fight in South Africa with John Tate, there were a lot of protests, people like Jesse Jackson, they didn't want the fight to go on, So the promoter, Bob Arum, who is part of our team, he really had to work and untangle all of those things, And on the other hand, I think by him fighting, it actually helped to expose a few things about apartheid, and then bringing people together. And the whole thing about Jerry was bringing people together. And like he said, he wants to be a champion of all people, black, white, brown, whatever,
I remember that he detested being called the Great White Hope, that he did want to represent everybody. And I think he's really done a good job of that during the most testing of times. When will the film be released? How can we look forward to it here in South Africa? We are boxing mad. There are so many boxing fans here that would love to see the film, but also fans of the man. Where are you in production, and when will it come out?
Yeah, the Corona thing has really put a spanner on production. So we're waiting for everything to clear, So we're thinking later on in the year. I'm thinking about August, September, and then the producer Andre Scholes is doing a fantastic job, and then you have one of the best directors in South Africa, Coast Rhodes, who's going to be the director, and he's been absolutely fantastic pre-production wise so far. And I also want to give a holler to Thinus Stridham, because Thinus kind of put the team together, kind of.
We briefly chatted to Tennis, and I have to thank him for setting this interview up. A lot of boxing fans in that area. Would you consider yourself and your community big in that boxing community?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple of champions here. Rudy Bo is from this area, and then we have Sugar Ray Leonard is not too far from here. So DC has a rich boxing history.
I was watching Sugar Ray videos this morning, man.
Sugar Ray was on the ringside when Jerry fought Stokes.
Wow.
He was on the ringside.
Oh man, I cannot wait. I would offer to play a role in the movie, but I don't know if I have the boxer's physique, man, or I'll play someone in the crowd if I have to, a reporter. But one thing I will ask, if you're going to come back out to South Africa when we do open the airwaves officially and production gets underway, you've got to come and join us in studio, please.
Absolutely. I'll come down, I'll also look at your tattoo. I want to see exactly what it looks like.
Oh, buddy, it's an open invitation. Once the social distancing is done, we cannot wait to have you here. But all the best of luck as pre-production and then production kicks off for the film. It sounds like it's going to be fantastic. And what a pleasure meeting you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure, and thanks a lot for taking time out to talk to me. And I hope you have a lovely day, huh?
You too, my friend. Go well. Thank you so much. To a legend on the other side of the world. Great to chat to Kendry this morning, all the way from the United States, from DC, as you heard. And it sounds like putting together a masterpiece in the form of a biopic about one of our greatest South African and African exponents, Gerrie Coetzee. And of course, we'll be watching very closely to see when that will be released here in South Africa and the rest of the world. And we'll bring you all of those details.
Oh, well, thank you, Kendry, for just chatting to us so much more about that biopic coming out later this year. And now Gerrie Coetzee is an absolute legend when it comes to boxing, and what he's done for the country as a sportsman has just been so inspirational. And to pay homage to the man's great work, we thought we'd give you some inspiration and kick today's fitness session off with a little boxing inspiration. And I'm joined by the illustrious Jamie Lee Domberg.
Listen, I may not be the Rose of Soweto, but I am going to be the Rose of Expresso. So, homage to you. I'm excited. Let's listen.
All right, so we're doing something fun, of course, and we're relating this very much to boxing. And one thing when it comes to boxing is high level of conditioning, a high level of core control. You're quick on your feet, you're light, you're staying off your heels, and you're always keeping your guard up and maintaining that protection. So as you will see in many of the documentaries and films that you might watch out, you'll see that the skipping is an essential component when it comes to the conditioning of a boxer and maintaining that fitness to last those rounds and take it into the end zone. All right, so we're going to start with something skipping, a very basic drill when it comes to skipping. What we want to maintain is using skipping as a warm-up is great. You want to stay off your heels. So we're never jumping straight on our heels. You really want to start using the control coming from whipping the wrists, all right? So whipping those wrists around, Jamie. And you really want to just find a nice smooth rhythm. And I already see you got this flow quite nicely.
Woo! On board? Okay.
And then, of course, you guys at home, if you want to start changing things up quite a bit, so start moving your feet around. What you can really try implement is start doing some butt kicks. They're really good. Some high knees will help you. And then get those feet out just to kind of increase the coordination. And this is what's really going to prime you for boxing when it comes to connecting the body and getting these workouts right, correct, and done the essential way it needs to. So what we're going to start off with, grab ourselves some weights. We've got a real cool gym hack today. Once again, you can use dumbbells at home if you have. You can use your boxing mitts or anything that's weighted. I'm going to hand Jamie a can of, just a can of food, essentially. It's a 500-gram weight, so that's perfect. And now I've got 2 kgs just to kind of keep it light so I still have some good control. Now, with a boxer, you need to make sure that you emphasize boxing and using your entire body. So the actual punch comes from the base, from the ground, all the way through to your foot into your hand. Once you've done that punch, we're going to go into a nice squat. So you're going to keep your weights in front of you, okay? Keep guarded, okay? Protect your face. We go down for a squat, and then we're going to punch through to the left while using your leg to come across you. That's perfect, Jamie. I love that. And now we go down for a squat once again, and then push through to the right. Extend that arm out. Keep that control. Lovely stuff. And you guys at home, we're going to basically repeat this 20 times in total. We really want to get the conditioning going. And as a boxer, you need to get fit. You obviously need to stay in that end zone. Okay, so keep your control, squat at the hip, hinge at the hip, and keep that form, especially when you're coming through on your punches. Don't forget, keep your guard up. You don't want to take a sucker punch. All right, so what we're going to be doing now, staying with our guard up, we're now going to work those shoulders and those delts. And we're also going to take a big blow when it comes to hitting the core. So especially as a boxer, you need to defend yourself for those body blows, and we're really going to get the conditioning up for that. So what we're going to do, guard up once again, Jamie. What you're going to do is you're going to press up straight in front of you. Feel those shoulders burning quite nicely. Then as you come down, you're literally going to just connect with the opposite leg to the opposite elbow and then you go back, press up, and then you do the same thing on the other side. Opposite leg, opposite elbow, and you'll feel that crunch. Then, Jamie, the exact same thing. We're gonna press up, and now as we come down, you're gonna open up to the side. Yeah, you feel that? Ooh. And then press up, and then straight again, open up to the side. All right, let's try that one more time. So we're gonna go across, press up, and then opposite elbow, opposite leg. Same thing on the other side, press up. My shoulders are burning. I don't know about you, Jamie.
My legs are burning.
And then we're gonna hit those obliques now to the side. Lovely stuff. And then once again, over to the other side. You guys at home, you can add some speed to this. Put some conditioning into it as well, because you really wanna simulate boxing and recreating that environment that you're in. Whew, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. But I feel like, why didn't we had to cue dramatic music. Dun, 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 dun.
I love it. Right, but now finishing off with the most essential part, it's your core, it's your conditioning. So we're just gonna drop down to our bums onto the ground now, and we're gonna be doing something called a Russian twist. And again, this is gonna give us accentuation on the shoulders, especially when you're coming through on those punches. But more importantly, the cross-functional requirement of the core in order to remain solid and strong to absorb a punch as well as return one at the same time. So keep your weight on your side. You're gonna lift your feet up off the ground, keeping your weight in your hands. You're gonna rotate and drop it to the one side, switch over, and then straight over to the other side, all right? Simple as that. You guys are gonna try 10 in total for these Russian twists that are really nice. And then after 10, you're gonna straighten your leg and then complete those next 10 reps. And you guys are going to feel an absolute burn in your obliques, in the stomach and the core. How are you feeling over there, Jamie?
I will never be able to wear Spanx after these because I feel like my core is going to be tight after this.
Well, there you go, guys. An epic inspired workout. This is from Kiri Kutsia, and we're trying to get box fit, and I know you guys are going to love this. So grab a weight at home and finish off this epic boxing set. Woo! It's a burner. Cheers, guys.
Find your smooth fortune with Tropica. Buy a Tropica, follow the entry details on the pack, and stand a chance to win your share of 1 million rand in prizes, such as a trip for two with KLM to Amsterdam, LG G8X cell phones, LG TVs and dishwashers, guest vouchers, guest watches and accessories, plus the smooth grand prize of a Suzuki Ignis. The more Tropica you buy, the more chances you have to win. Tropica. Nothing smoother.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're still with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. Thank you so much for choosing to start the day off with us. Now, Philip Miller, the well-known and award-winning South African composer, has embarked upon a project to assist funding singers and musicians who are currently unable to work and earn money during this period of the COVID-19 lockdown. Joining Philip today in an interesting way is a classically trained musician, Nokuthula Makubane, who is a soprano. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Lovely to be on your show.
Well, this interpretation of Influenza 1918 was a collaborative effort from various musicians making use of voice messaging on each individual cell phone, which I think is just so fantastic. But how did you come up with the idea and how did you put it into motion?
Well, I was reading an article on COVID-19 in South Africa in the first week. And the journalist quoted a historian from UCT, professor who had written a book about Spanish flu in South Africa in 1918. And he referred to the song, and it was like, wow, there's been a song about this, and it was called Influenza 1918. So once I had the recording, I thought, no. I think I need to bring in this wonderful group of different singers who I've worked with for many years, and try and make an arrangement of the song, and try and make this song something that can raise consciousness for musos and singers who are struggling right now. And try and raise funds for it. So this became the idea.
And what a really fantastic way to do that and to bring that to life as well. But Influenza 1918 was composed by Ruben T. Kaluza and recorded back in 1920. Anyone who hears the song and hears the music who isn't familiar with the language probably wonders then, what language the song lyrics are written in and exactly what it means. So do you want to just unpack that for us, please?
So the song is written in isiZulu, and basically what the lyrics are speaking about is the pandemic that happened in 1918 of the influenza. And what it's saying is it literally wiped out families. It wiped out fiancés and fiancés and husbands and wives and virgins, and it just took everyone. And it was a very serious time. And it's just saying that we need to be careful to not just let our hearts rule us willy-nilly, because we don't know what's going to happen in future. It's a time of uncertainty, which resonates really, really well with what's going on right now.
And as an artist, Nokuthula, was it a challenge for you? Was it quite challenging taking a song from so long ago and making it so relevant and saying it in ways, and I suppose bringing it to life in ways that are relevant and make sense in today's context?
I think it was quite easy for me because Mr. Miller gave me basically the freedom to explore the song, and he said, you know what, here's the blueprint, here's the sheet music, let's see what we can do. So it was much easier for me, instead of sticking to a very rigid and strict brief, it was much easier for me to just play with it and try and make it as relevant as possible. And I mean, I'm a storyteller using the voice. I paint with my voice, so it's very easy for me to put something into relevance now, because that's what I do. That's who I am. That's the lifeblood of me being an artist, telling stories.
And you do it so beautifully. I mean, your voice is something else.
Thank you.
It's absolutely insane. The beauty of it, I think, is how everybody was so delicate with it and everybody handled it so well, and they really did keep the integrity and the originality of the message in this entire process, which must have been quite difficult. But let's talk about the pieces that, had to come together to bring it together. You've got how many singers in total, and how many, and what instruments did you use? How were they selected? All of these singers that you worked with from all over the world. I know you mentioned someone from Rio.
Yeah. Well, the person from Rio was the filmmaker who edited the film together. So I wanted to bring, it's almost like what I say, my music family of people who are all in my family, who I care about, I know their children, I know their lives, and I wanted to have that. And so I brought just literally a group of people who are both wonderful singers, but also people I know. And there are 8 singers. I mean, maybe, Till you want to talk about it as well, our own work together,
Yeah, we've only been working together, I think, for about 3-4 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it's an absolutely beautiful experience. You build a brilliant working relationship, and you build a relationship of relying on each other, because I know when Mr. Miller calls me, he knows that I'm a reliable person. For when projects like this come up, you know that you've got reliable people, and you've got people, who will put out the best and do the best work to their abilities,
The crazy thing with it was that, I took the recording, I transcribed because there isn't actually sheet music as far as I know.
Music,
I wrote down the different parts, the soprano and the alto and the bass and the tenor, and then I kind of, let's call it, sent those out with backing tracks, which people listen to literally like I'm doing here on the phone. You had your backing track. You all were in the same key. You were all at the same tempo at the same time, and that was the only way you could fit this together like a puzzle.
It was a new experience. It was a challenge.
It's genius.
But it was a challenge well met.
I love it. I love how you've been able to do this, and I think it takes a great deal of trust, but certainly a great deal of chemistry as well to be able to do work in this new way of doing work and of making music, but music that still goes out to connect with people and touches them in such beautiful ways. But people want to know, how can they get involved? How can the public get involved in this cause?
So we've tried to put it on as much social media platforms as possible. It's firstly, you could go to a link called Busker, which is a South African link to allow for musicians, singers, and artists to perform. It's been 5 weeks, and we're close now to 100,000 rand for small amounts of people. It's just been an incredible response, and obviously this is about trying to help, people who are really, have lost work for the whole year. People don't know what's going to happen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Philip Miller and Nokuthula Magubane, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Go out there and show them all of the love and all of the support. Philip has brought together a team of young vocalists with whom he has collaborated over a period of several decades, and he's incorporated each singer's recording into his new rendition of Influenza 1918. You've got to hear it. The campaign went live on the 1st of May 2020, and using the online platform Busker, donations can be made into the relief fund. It is such a good cause. All funds will be raised, of course, and they'll be spread to a community of local South African singers and musicians who very much need it during this time. This is such fantastic work.
Thank you so much, T. Now let's get back in the kitchen and get cooking, ready to bake in literally minutes, crammed with all of the Rhodes quality we've grown to love and kind of expect now. This recipe definitely takes the cake. Excuse the pun. Introducing the Rhodes quality moist, super moist by the looks of it, carrot and pineapple cake. It's so easy to make. That's the beauty here, and enough for the whole family, or maybe just for 2 of us to share in this case. And it keeps for up to 4 nights in an airtight, 4 days in an airtight container, which is great, but I don't think it's going to last that long. Nicole, this looks awesome. We've been having a little bit of fun with our kind of carrot cake variations and inspiration. Now we're using a little Rhodes quality and introducing pineapple, one of my favorites.
Yes. So most of the carrot cakes I've made in the past have always had crushed pineapple.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I just feel like it just adds that moisture and density to the cake. So I'm very, very excited about this. So I've got 4 eggs going into some sugar here, Graham. So we're just going to whisk this all up together. So this is going to be like your liquid base.
Okay, and it's quite a lot of sugar, so it's quite a caramelly kind of base.
Yes, and we're using brown sugar as well.
Beautifully, yeah.
So that adds to the caramel flavor that you're talking about. So just whisk this up very quickly, and then you've got a cup of oil. That is also another thing that's going to make your cake last for those 4 to 5 days in the fridge. Yeah.
Gives it a bit of longevity. I didn't know that. Okay.
And adds to the density of it. So we're just going to mix that up. And then that's your wet ingredients. Then we've got our dry ingredients. We've got some flour over here, some bicarb and baking powder.
Okay.
And some salt. And what is a cake without some cinnamon?
Cinnamon, and we've spoken about this before. For this particular variation, the cinnamon or nutmeg with a carrot cake base, you need that. You need to have that spiciness to kind of offset and counter the sweetness of the other ingredients.
Exactly. So you can add some...
heaven.
Yeah, no, definitely heaven. So you can add some ginger powder as well to this if you would like. That's completely up to you. So you're just going to mix this up gently, but before I mix it up completely, we need to add our carrots and our beautiful pineapple. So we've got some Rhodes quality crushed pineapple, which is super convenient because it's all already done for you.
It's already been shredded nicely. Okay,
yeah, so you can drain the syrup, but I made this one yesterday with the syrup because I wanted that extra pineapple flavor.
You're clever.
But what I did do is they've got these pineapple rings that I've decorated it with. That syrup you can scoop over in the ready baked cake, and it makes it even more.
Sink in.
Yes.
Oh man.
Pecan nuts. A little bit of that can't have carrot cake without carrots.
Without the carrots, obviously. And all of this says to me that we are going to be left with a beautiful, moist cake at the end of it, which you need. You don't want it to dry out quickly. It must kind of hold that density, as you say, as well.
So you can add the pineapple pieces if you want, that the Rhodes quality also have, if you want to like bite into pineapple.
Okay.
I know some people do like that.
Pineapple joy to discover as you go.
Exactly. So we're just going to mix this up until all your flour is beautifully incorporated, and you can see it's quite a big batter. So what I did, I made a big cake. Otherwise you can do 2 smaller 20 centimeter cake tins, and then you would bake it for half an hour. This recipe does call for 30 to 40 minutes. I had to bake it a little bit longer because of the large baking tin. Yeah.
Scale, cool.
But like you said, every oven is different. So just skewer test it every time. I've always baked in different ovens my whole career, and nothing's been the same.
There's never been a constant.
You have to do a couple of cakes to just try and figure out the temperatures, so you know your oven at home. Yeah.
And it's true. I've kind of figured it out. I've had a couple of flops. I've kind of made brownies that. Luckily, I was able to repair them after the fact because and I did the skewer test and it was like, oh, but do I want a moist brownie? Then I emptied it out and it was just like gloop everywhere. That I scooped it all, put it back together, and actually it came out right.
It came out great.
But you kind of get a sense of it. But just to reiterate, the skewer test, you stick it in, it must come out clean.
It comes out clean, exactly. So no batter must be sticking to it. So what I usually do is slide my finger over it, so then I can also feel the batter over it.
Okay, cool.
And then we've just done a cream cheese frosting, classic carrot cake. It's cream cheese, butter, and icing sugar. And then we just smeared it all over, let your cake cool, otherwise it's going to run all over your cake and it's going to be a disaster.
Okay, cool. Letting your cake cool, is it advisable? Because this is something I've also kind of encountered. Do you need to put it on a rack and let it dry out a little bit to kind of form that crust on the exterior?
Exactly. So my tip is, when you take your cake out the oven, give it 5 minutes in the warm tin.
In the tin, okay.
As it cools down in that 5 minutes, it starts to shrink in a little bit. Then it comes off the sides. Then you take it out of your tin, put it on a cooling rack, and then it allows the air to circulate around it.
Where were you like 3 weeks ago when I was stuck in lockdown, kind of wading through these conundrums myself, man? I need a pocket-sized Nicole that I can take home and keep in my kitchen. Thank you. This looks beautiful. I think this is a firm fan favorite. This is our take on a carrot cake with a beautiful Rhodes quality introduction of some amazing pineapple, which I think is going to elevate it to an entirely different level.
Rhodes quality for the love of food.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, all you beautiful people, right here to your Feel Good Breakfast show on SABC3. Now, as you know, over the course of this month, we challenged your beautiful hearts to nominate your hashtag #GotGame Lockdown Legends for the opportunity to each win a 1,000 Rand game voucher, while more importantly, recognizing those heroes in your community. Well, your entries are in, everybody. The competition is closed and a winner has been chosen. And on the line, we have none other than Halima Hanif Dawood, everybody. Now, she nominated her frontline hero sister, Fatima Hanif, who is also a radiographer, and she joins us this morning to chat about her sister and their inspiring story. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing? I mean, you just won. Like, can we get a bit more energy out here?
I'm lost for words. I'm still very nervous, anxious, lost for words, but very happy and excited.
Oh, bless you.
And so is my lockdown legend.
Bless your heart. I can see that smile, but take us through it. How did you first find out about the competition, and why did you nominate your sister?
Actually, I'm watching the morning Expresso show every day. So I used to hear about it, that you have this competition going on. So I decided to nominate my sister, since she's working in the hospital as a radiographer here in Cape Town. So I entered her, and I was so shocked that she won when they called me. And because she's working very hard at
the hospital and being with the patient and doing everything there, and then coming home and managing everything in the home and taking care of us. So I thought she needed that appreciation for her hard work.
That's so beautiful. It's very clear that your sister is your hero, not only at work but also at home. But maybe tell us a bit more about the kind of activities that she does at home that lifts everyone's mood and just spreads positivity.
Okay, we do the chores at home together as a family. Everyone's allocated a task. We also love cooking. She's very creative with cooking, checking out videos on YouTube and getting us into experimenting with things. And she's very creative and she's quite entertaining for us. So we have like turns to cook every day of the week, lunch or dinner. So the best dish of the week, our winner gets a special reward at the end of the week. So that keeps us entertained. And we have the Wii gaming console, Just Dance at Home. So we do dance activities together. So these are just some of our lockdown activities to keep us entertained.
Sounds like an absolute beautiful bond that the two of you have. But why do you think it was so important, you know, to acknowledge the working heroes in our communities like your sister Fatima, or those that simply inspire us with their attitude or good work?
I'm actually inspired by the commitment of medical staff and essential workers and their dedication towards working in the front line. They really need to be acknowledged for their hard work and courage, and I think they are doing a very good job keeping us safe.
Absolutely. Now, you both won a 1,000 Rand game voucher through your nomination. What will you be purchasing? What will your sister be purchasing? Do you know?
We haven't received yet, but once we receive, for sure, something special for our hero. And we're not decided yet, but we will be getting something good.
Halima, congratulations again. Thank you so much for your inspiring story. Also, congratulations to your sister, Fatima. Listen, use that 1,000 Rand game voucher wisely and let us know what you're going to be using it on.
Sorry?
I say thank you so much for joining us, and maybe let us know what you'll be using your voucher on later, okay?
Yes, I will definitely. Thank you so much.
Now, for you at home, remember that during lockdown, Game is taking it to a whole other level. You can buy your groceries, you can buy your pet food, cleaning items, hand sanitizer, baby products, stationery, as well as DIY and gardening tools, as well as small appliances such as kettles and toasters, all at Game. Now, also just in time for that winter season, the list includes heaters as well. So if you do find any essential products at a cheaper price elsewhere, all you have to do is show them online or in store, and they'll beat the price by 10% on the difference under their price beat promise. And remember, they are open from Monday to Friday from 9 to 5, as well as Saturday, Sunday and public holidays from 9 to 3. What are you waiting for? Show us how you #GotGame.
A big congratulations to the Hani family for winning the 1,000 Rand game vouchers. On that note, also shout outs to all the frontline workers putting their lives at risk during these tough times. But right now, though, we are knee deep, okay, into Africa Month, and we're sharing words of inspiration from children of the continent who are flying our values high on the world stages.
Yeah, now it's a special one. Of course, we're turning now to Haile Selassie I, born Tafari Makonnen, who was the Emperor of Ethiopia from 1930 all the way through to 1974, and he's hailed for steering his country into the mainstream of post-World War II African politics. And he made the capital Addis Ababa the major center for the Organization of African Unity, now also known as the African Union. And he is regarded as a messiah-like figure in the religious movement of Rastafarianism. And this is what the man once had to say.
A man who says, "I have learned enough and will learn no further," should be considered as knowing nothing at all. Ultimately, what he's saying is education and learning, unlearning or relearning certain things is not is limitless. You should wake up and look to learn something new about yourself, about the world that you live in, about whatever that you do. So a big shout out to Haile Selassie for those words of inspiration. But right now, though, before we say goodbye, Nicole is making a kid-friendly pasta with white sauce tomorrow on the show.
Yeah, and of course, we're also catching up with Miss Issei Sasha Lee Oliver, and Jared Rickus is showing us his latest hit. Check it out.
Yes, now we do this all again tomorrow right here on SABC 3 from 7 to 9 o'clock from the Expresso family, man. G-Man, before we say goodbye, what's happening?
Well, I got taught the ins and outs of white sauce, so we're going to be continuing with part 2 of our white sauce on Facebook Live a little bit later. We're going to be making a kid-friendly pasta with white sauce. Nicole will be helping you through that. But thank you so much for joining us for what has been an amazing show. Thank you to all of our guests. We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Adios.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.